What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Week in Review show. Kevin Allen, aka the Geek from DFS Army, and we are doing a special show this week where I've got Scotty Newman on board, aka Scooter 13. And what we're going to do today, Scotty, you fucking crushed it on Fanduel this week. Look at this leaderboard. I was so impressed by it. And listen, it's not always about, it doesn't have to be $1 million win. What got me about this screenshot that you put in here is first place, fourth place, seventh place, 33rd place. That's one thing. Love that. By the way, I've never done that myself. 3 top 10s, never done it. But more importantly, we talk a lot of the time behind the scene. Scott and I, in case you guys don't know, we talk a lot behind the scenes. We're in the DMs a lot. And Scott is very much a system DFS player. Very much, hey, let me find a system that works and repeat it every single slate. You've done that. You've been up. You've got to be up about 150K in the last 4 or 5 weeks alone. Something in the range.
That's about right.
Yeah, you keep showing me these massive screenshots. So what I said was, let's have some fun. We're going to go to backtest and we're going to try to replicate these lineups. We're going to try to beat it. We're going to see what your system is. We're going to learn it, and then we're going to see how many of our DFS Army subscribers who then see it, something that works, will actually do it. That's the big question. I don't think it'll be a lot, but we'll see. So before we really get into this, Scott, tell me a little bit about your philosophy, because you're a big back tester and you're big into coming up with systems that are replicable.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, me and you've talked for a long time, just back and forth on different things. And I just started back testing, like giving some bumps to some guys, basically. Working on where I don't want that ownership per lineup to be over.
Well, give me
I don't use randomness in NFL whatsoever. Totally a zero. I mean, it's pretty much just give some bumps to who I like. 3 unique, set our flex percentages. And then keep my max ownership at 130. I usually put a minimum of 5 on my fantasy point range, so it gets rid of any trash on the bottom, so I won't have any of those in any lineups. And I max, this is a big one though, max exposure is 30% on everybody.
All right, so let's get right into it, because we're jumping right in. So I wanted to give a little background. Scott, you are definitely a system guy. A lot of back testing using the domination station optimizer that we have over at DFS Army, going into backtest mode. Going to point that out, like where to do that right here. So when you're setting up the dom station, you can go to backtest and you can pull up previous slates. I'm a big fan of this, because one of my things is people like to attack mass multi-entry and they're always asking for strategies, but you need to test your strategies to give you the confidence, and you could back test it. And we're going to go through the process of back testing here as well, but we're going to run through it using the settings that you've kind of come up with in your back testing that you've been showing me. And like I said, you've taken down at least 2 of these afternoon slates or early slates. How many? What's that?
Yesterday was my 4th.
The 4th one on the season. So it's a pretty short. We're only 10 weeks in. You're winning one of these every other week. That is an incredible feat. And it speaks to the power of the tools that we have here, but also the power of knowing how to use them. So with that being said, let's get right into it. We've got the domination station opened up, 1 p.m. only. So this is that early slate that you won. Again, screenshot, what crushed it, right? So let's go over to the settings. And you said,
I usually start at the bottom, Kevin. Just go down to the players.
Okay.
I do that one. Just put your max at 30% on everybody.
All right. So we start with exposure max across the entire slate, 30%. Boom.
Then I'll go position by position.
Okay. So are you liking, disliking based on something?
I'm only using 2 emojis. It's either a love or it's an adore.
Okay. And those are on players based on what?
Our cheat sheets.
So
4-star, they get a love. 5-star, they get an adore. That's the only thing I'm looking at.
I wish I would have known that. So to have the cheat sheet open and ready for this.
No,
Wait a minute. Let me see.
I got them right here in front of me. I can tell you exactly who they are.
All right. So wait, but let me see if I can. I'm going to try to grab the cheat sheet here and see if it's still live.
It
So
would
I can
be
show it on screen.
whatever the early one was.
Now, do you use for this one? Are you using the specific early slate cheat sheet? So you didn't use. You're using the. In this case, who does the early for us?
Mutt.
That would be Mutt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go to the Mutt cheat sheet, and if there's a 4-star play on there, you're going to give it 4-star. If there's you're going to give it a love. If it's a 5-star play, which there'll be a couple, not too many, you'll give it an adore. Right. So let me. I'm going to put that on screen here. So I just want to keep it real, so everybody who's watching this kind of knows, hey, this is a pretty standard system. So you got. Let's look at the quarterbacks. You got Mahomes, Fields, Tua. We're the only.
Make sure you use the Fanduel one.
Am I on DraftKings? No, this is
no. But I'm talking about the stars.
The FanDuel star, yeah. So we got Mahomes, Fields, and Tua. That was very obvious this week. And you're only using this group of quarterbacks, correct?
Oh no, I leave it open to everybody. I'm just giving them the bump.
Okay, so they're all in there. Okay, so let's look at some of these other players. Saquon Barkley. Go through this with me while I go through the notes, but it'll be
Barkley should be an adore.
Okay.
And then Henry, Chubb, Kamara, and ETN are all loves.
ETN is a love. It's too bad you didn't use my sheet. I had Singletary on it.
Yeah.
No, didn't matter. You crushed it. It didn't matter. All right. Who else? Let's see here.
Wide receiver.
We got Hill, Jefferson, Waddle, Amon-Ra, Olave, right? So let's go through it together.
St. Brown is in the door.
Ooh, Kadarius Tony is in there. I like it. Hang on. So I got loves on Diggs, Hill.
No Diggs.
No Diggs. It was Hill, Jefferson, Waddle. Okay, and then in the door on Amon-Ra.
Olave is a love.
And the big one was Kadarius Toney.
No, St. Brown is in the door.
St. Brown, I gave an adore, and Tony gets a love. He won't even show up.
Yes, Tony gets a love. Kirk gets a love.
And Christian Kirk. Let's find Christian Kirk. He gets a love. Boom. Okay, love all those guys. Good loves, especially Tony, even though he won't show up unless we force him.
Okay. Tight end is just Kelsey and Dulcich, both loves.
Kelsey and Dulcich both get loves. Ugh, I hated Dulcich. Okay.
And then defenses is Denver, Buffalo, Tennessee, and the Giants. Loves.
Okay. And understand a little something. For the most part, this is still letting the projections take the wheel for a big part of it, but giving just minimal boosts. What a love does for people at home who are watching this, what a love does is it gives a 10% projection boost to a player, and a door gives a 15% projection boost. So it just increases the likelihood that they'll show up if they're already projected well. All right. So we've done that. Now you said ownership cap 130. Flex positions. Are you messing with this at all?
80% running back. 0% tight end. 30% wide receiver.
This is restrictive. Okay. All right. That's restrictive. Let's see how that comes together. And any other, we're going to do 150 lineups. You do 100 though, right? Did you do 100 or 150 here?
150 in NFL.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, I know you do 100 for NBA. And Scott, you have your own full blast system for NBA. You give out cores for DFS Army every day, and it's just like load up on these cores, and it's a similar approach for NBA.
Yep.
But let's see. Hey, we're talking about.
Hold on.
What's the stacking rule?
Quarterback with no less than 2.
No less than 2.
Wide receiver, tight end.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
No bring back.
No bring back. All right. That is a heavy stack. And you don't care if it's Justin Fields or any of it. You're always stacking with 2.
Yep.
Okay. Well.
And then tournament mode, 3 unique. And I also clicked that other box. We don't let the what is that box?
Disallow more than 2, which it won't do anyway. But yeah,
disallow more than 1 catcher unless a quarterback's in there or whatever.
Yeah, the disallow. Okay. So am I
and 5 minutes? You put the 5 minutes?
Yeah, I got rid of the under 5s, and that's it.
That's it.
And with the 30% cap, and boom, you let it rip.
Yep.
We're running. Man, if this produces those winners just like this, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. I feel like it won't, but
probably won't.
We'll see. Now, how many times do you run the Dom station before you're done? Do you mess with it at all after the 1 run?
1.
You don't mess with it.
Let it rip.
Fits, and you just let it rip.
Yep.
Oh, serenity now. No tinkering. I have hours. I start the night before. I work all night. In the morning. It's 12:40. It's minutes to 1. I'm getting my last edits in. And you're like, no, I just read it once.
You really want me to make you laugh?
Oh my God, yes.
At 9:30, I write down those bumps. 9:30 in the morning, I go to my computer at 12 o'clock. I put all these settings in. I run it, and I'm done.
Wait, here's the question. I didn't get any Fields lineups here.
I only got
2. What's that? I only got 2% Fields.
Really?
That did not happen for you. You leave QB at 30%?
Yeah, everybody's 30%. Here, let me look at something. 5, 130.
I'm going to sort by Final Fantasy points. Maybe we hit it, but I highly doubt it with just a couple of lineups. So no, this is a 163 max. So what we didn't get were the Fields lineups, and I'm wondering why. Did you uncheck any of these quarterbacks? Like I'm not making lineups with Tannehill. I'm not making lineups. Well, all these other guys were kind of okay.
Tournament 3, 5, 150, 30. Got that. Yeah, I'm running it on mine as well.
Yeah, I'm going to redo it because I want to make sure that Fields gets in there. I mean, if this simple approach got us there on the first try, that'd be pretty wild. Obviously, Fields was the top play this week.
I already have 9 Fields.
You only ended up with 9%?
No, it's still running. I only have 49 lineups. It's still running.
So why did I just do it and not get any Fields?
I have no idea.
Nonetheless, I'm going to force the Fields because Fields was definitely going to be somebody.
Hey, what was that top score?
I got a 163 and a Kenny Pickett lineup. 163.
No, what was my score?
Your score, you hit a 186.18. And there was a 181 in there and 187. So again, let me see where we got here. So now we got Fields in there. Okay. So I've smashed in the door and now I'm getting Fields, but we're still not replicating that lineup. So let's see what's going on here. How did you do it, Scott?
I don't know.
What did you do? What did you do?
I got 105 lineups currently. It's running. My best is 172.
Why is it you didn't reset settings. You left your settings in place.
Yes.
So can you look and see if you have any likes on anything?
No, that's it. I gave you exactly. I went right through them.
3 unique. 0 player. 0 that 130 projected ownership cap.
Yep.
So the highest lineup we got. Oh, wait a minute. Why? Wait a minute. Why is it running back? Oh, I made a mistake. I wrote no less than 2 players, wide receiver, running back, same team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, man. That's what's up. Okay, let's give that another try. I was like, what is going on here? Okay. Sorry about that. That was like anticlimactic. I was like, either you're crazy, I'm crazy, or we're all crazy. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm like, why do these lineups look so bad? Okay. All right. We definitely don't want to be running back with the quarterback in our stack or allowing that. So now that we've changed it, if
Now,
I get,
I will say this. I ran my lineups at noon. If anything changed between noon and 1 o'clock projection wise, that could throw all this off.
yeah, but I mean, you're telling me, hey, I ran a simple system here, and this is all I did, and you do this every single week. So it's not like you're replicating the exact same system every week. Let me just make sure I got my full fields exposure. There we go. So once again, I'm not hitting that lineup.
Just did it. The best I got was 172,
which is not bad.
No.
But I want to look at the lineups again. I'm getting Fields with Montgomery, which should not happen. So what the hell?
Guess who's in that top lineup though? That 172.
It's Pickens. Like it's not Fields.
Minnesota D.
Yeah, Minnesota defense was needed. By the way, I ran it. I just realized, I don't know why, but I just actually brain farted and ran it again with running back in the stack, which is why it didn't get better. So
Minnesota was the second most used defense in this run.
Really? All right. I'm going to be curious. Now that I finally did it the right way and I got my stack correct, again, the power of video in real time. Of course, I do stupid things because I really want to see. The more important point of this is developing a system using backtesting and then repeating it every single day. That's how you win, right? You ever think about how you've proven it because you've, like I said, you've won this tournament. Now you've done much better in the afternoon, in the morning/afternoon slate than in the main. Why do you think that is? What do you think? Here, I got the 173 in this one, by the way. So that 173 lineup. But why do you think it is that you've had so much more success in doing smaller slates? Like the system seems to work better in the smaller slate. Why do you think that is?
I don't have an answer for that. I mean, but I'm to the point. I'm just going to throw my 1 p.m. lineups in the main. Fade the 4 o'clock games.
I mean, don't do that, but don't do that. I don't think that's like prudent, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? It's just interesting. There's a Mooney Komet. By the way, I think this will work better. Like you get an even bigger score if it wasn't a double stack, because double stack with Fields wasn't the greatest this week. Mooney kind of had a pretty bad day. Should have been a
single. But you had to have Komet.
You needed Komet, yeah. You need a Komet. So here's a Jefferson. Yeah, Robert Woods. I don't understand why Robert Woods is showing up in the lineup. So let me just look at this player pool a little bit and see if we can clean it out a little bit. Like garbage that you would never want. I think probably what happened was maybe the projection for Minnesota defense was a little bit higher before the Allen was definitely playing news came out.
Yeah, that could be.
But there's also a lot of pretty interesting, at least there's some interesting exposures going on here. Like this much Kareem Hunt is crazy. Did you get 30% Kareem Hunt in your run?
It was about that.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, and you didn't deal. You're like, I'm fine with it.
I don't even look at it.
You're like, yeah, I'm cool with it. It's fine.
Don't even look at it, because then I will make changes.
So you're like, I'm not even gonna look.
Nope.
I don't care.
Oh, 150 is done. Download. Boom. Paste it in there. Because I trust my process.
The process, the repeatability of it. So we're hitting, so far I've hit 173.48, which in that tournament was good for, a top score, definitely. By the way, just straight up, you got, just doing that, got a pretty good score. Like the 173 is like 10th place in this contest. So not too shabby. Now, how do we get from 173 up to the 180, up to the 183? Let's see. Let me take a look. So I kind of want to see like what possible component we're missing. Number one might be, let me just look at some of these exposures here. Yeah, I mean, we're getting like, yeah, actually, no, this is pretty good. I like the QB exposures where it's, the best three kind of getting the most of them, and then these other guys just a little bit, right? Now, these running backs was just brutal this week in general. It was really tough, and you had to kind of get Wilson. So the reason you got the nuts lineup that you won was because of your Jeff Wilson Jr. exposure. That really was key, I think, to getting there this week. And trying to think, at 6,500, just going to give him a little boost here to see if we get 30% Wilson, if we kind of max out on him, how it looks. Dalvin Cook is another guy that really had a solid day, so I'm going to give him a little boost as well. And let's give it one more run and see if we can't get this distribution a little bit better. But again, the emphasis here is developing a system. And Scott, your philosophy is what you're telling me right now is you don't even look at the results. You just run it with the
look at it vaguely, but I don't change anything.
Now,
I just look at like who's on top of my percentages, like who was my quarterback I had the most of, or running back, blah blah blah.
Are you going back and retesting these concepts against a single stack with the QB?
Not anymore.
No, you're just like, screw it. I found it.
Remember,
I like it.
2 years ago, I was back testing almost 20 hours a day. And now I'm pretty sold on all my processes that I just roll with them.
Just repeat it.
Yep.
There's your 188.08, by the way. And the second 172. So let's see, 188, we beat you.
Yep.
And then the second is 172. So still in the nuts. So I mean, listen, it was a little tweak, a little twerk, little twerk.
Sure.
But minimal tweaks here. Shit, this 188 has Chase Claypool in it, and his one. He put up a one. It got a Dalvin Cook version of it, right? Yep. So there you go. Here's a Mooney Komet. That's that one. That's a 167. And again, the difficult thing this week was most definitely the running back position. There's no doubt. So let me ask you this. Let's say I come in on a week and I'm like, guys, we're all in on Devin Singletary this week. Like, he is crazy, this or that and the other thing, right? He's 5,500 on FanDuel. The price is too good. He's starting for the Bills, blah, blah, blah. Will you break a rule and go 100% on a player, like one player like that, just to say, fuck it, I'm going 100, I'm going all in?
No.
Have you ever done that? No.
I won't.
So you're just repeating your system every single week, every single slate.
Why would I?
No.
4 out of 10, 40%.
The results speak for themselves.
Which is unheard of, pretty much, if you think about it.
No, it's crazy.
I mean, when you're playing 15 to 19,000 people every week in that tournament, and you've won it 4 times out of 10, I don't think there's a reason for me. Because here, we don't know if someone's going to get hurt. We don't know that. So it also gives you exposure, and you're not all in on anybody. That's the whole point of the process, in my opinion.
John does more of a kind of a similar process. He'll never really go over 30% on any given player, right? He's very much into a wide spread of exposures. So again, you want to take down tournaments on FanDuel or probably DraftKings. I don't see why this wouldn't work. It would be exactly the same on DraftKings.
I'm not going to – the only thing I change on DraftKings is I go 100% flex wide receiver.
Yes. So
it's the only thing I change.
Yeah. DraftKings, you want to load up on those wide receivers in the flex. That scoring system is much more attractive for wide receivers. But basic system, domination station optimizer for NFL. QB +2, 30% max, 3 uniques, let it rip.
Yep.
130% exposure limit to keep the chalk out. Let me see what happens if I take off this limit. I'm just curious. It'll get worse.
What are you taking off?
I took off the 130 cap. I just want to see
Oh.
if the same lineup shows up or if the cap helped grab that top lineup. So I like to, like I said, this is back testing. So it's fun for me to kind of see different things, right? I do like to look at these different things. Let's see what happened. 172. So there you go. It got worse. So the top lineup that it produced had a 168% exposure, very chalky, and found a fine finish, but not enough to take down a tournament. So going to 130, what it's doing is it's also kind of forcing the tool to pick up lower owned players that maybe somebody else or other people aren't going to be on top of. Let's see here. Yeah, I just put it back down to 130, and let's see if it reproduces. By the way, it should always reproduce with no randomization on. I could run it 100 times. It will produce exactly the same result with the same set of settings. I am still a little curious as to why we didn't hit it on our first try. And Scott is very possibly right. Like, projections might change a little bit between noon and 1 o'clock, and maybe whatever little smidge adjustment happened somewhere. Maybe it was that Vikings defense that, like I said, probably got a downgrade after we found out Josh Allen was in. But in your mind, you don't actually care about this stuff because you're like, hey, this is just a system I do every single. Now, do you attack the morning? Do you do the afternoon only 3 games? It's just 3 games. You do it the same way because you can't have the same kind of limits.
You're right. Yeah, I can't. I play 1 p.m. or early, and I play May.
So you're not playing the afternoon only because this system doesn't work for that.
No way it will.
Yeah. By the way, there are other systems we could discuss for shorter slates like Thanksgiving that we'll get into, but you need to allow players versus defense. There's a couple of other functions that you need to do. Let's go right back to it. So yeah, I ran it again, got back to hit the 188 again and the 172. So not exactly the same output, but still able to produce a lineup good enough to take down the turn. Yeah, this one doesn't even have Singletary in it. It's crazy. Crazy. I just want to see. I like to see how sexy they can end up looking. I'm gonna raise up the Singletary. So I was really pushing Singletary this past week, because I thought Allen was going to either play compromised or not play. And part of the reason Singletary never does anything is because Allen loves to take all the touchdowns for himself.
Absolutely.
Run for them. They throw. They don't like to run for touchdowns. But I figured this would be the one game. And he was so cheap on FanDuel that it was such a better play on FanDuel compared to DraftKings. There's a few guys like that this week, like Amin-Ra, also ridiculously underpriced on FanDuel relative to DraftKings. So he was just a much better play there, and you can get leverage by playing him there. Let's see here. I just kind of raised my Singletary exposure. I want to see. I feel like I want to beat the score even more. But it's also what I've seen in my back testing or in my I couldn't beat it. It went back to 188. What I've seen on FanDuel is people like you can win with way less than perfect lineups, where DraftKings it's much tougher. Like the winning Millie Maker score is almost the perfect lineup. It's not the perfect. It's not the actual optimal lineup, but it's close to it. It'll be like a 20-point difference here. Like I'll show you. So real quick, just to show the difference. If we go and just do, and this is probably why this works, because you're just doing a system. If we go to Final Fantasy points to run it, or if we just did a stack with 1 in this one, yeah, 211 was the one of the highest scores, and that's not even the true highest. If we actually change this to with 1, you'll get the actual highest possible score, which my guess right now will be somewhere in the 220s. Let's see. So the highest possible 221. No one came close to it. Fields, Kmet, Nick Westbrook, Akine, and how much money does it leave on the table? Actually, left 1,000 on the table.
Wow.
The highest actually came really close. But you need Westbrook, Akine, who no one would ever have played.
It was probably under 5, so it wasn't even in my run.
Oh yeah, he Westbrook, Akine, yeah, his original projection could have been under 5. Like he hasn't had a good game all year, so no one was playing that, and I don't blame anybody for not playing it. It's fun to see Kadarius Toney showing up because man, he loved what he did.
Well,
so,
Juju getting hurt helped him a lot.
Oh my gosh, that was a big difference maker, and it'll help him going forward too after that big game. So anyway, that's basically it, man. So I want to congratulate you. By the way,
Thanks.
Scott's freaking awesome. Like after one of the previous, like a 50K win, put up a free roll for the whole community. Of course, gave a staff one, which I came in second. I'm embarrassed about it. Wags took me down.
You
but
know who came in third, actually, don't you?
What's that? Wait,
You know
did
who
you
came
come
in
in third?
third? I did.
Nice.
But I gave it to Bobby because he was fourth.
I would have had you given me a chance, but nonetheless, no. I took my winnings. Fuck that.
I know you did.
Hell yeah, I want that shit. But did a community free roll for the DFS Army community as well. And one of the cool things we do at DFS Army is like people who win occasionally will be like, hey, I want to give back to the community, do a free roll for it. That is one of the coolest things ever. I feel like it's unique to DFS Army and our community and how much everybody just gets along and roots each other on and really helps each other in situations like this. So if you want to crush, Scott's in there giving out cores every day for for NBA, for MLB, around the season, available. I'm sure your DMs get blown up every time you post a win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Today was quite interesting.
It's always fun. But tell them, watch the video because you explain. There's nothing better than what we just did here. Here is what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything crazy. It's the same stuff every single week. You do something very similar for NBA, and we've done videos about that separately. I'm not going to put that onto an NFL video, but you've done it like it's just develop a process, back test it, gain confidence in it, and then just to see. I did. You and I did this back testing a couple of years ago. We were working, and then last year the QB +2 just wasn't working on DraftKings, especially. It just didn't work. So I was like, all right, shit's changed, and I kind of changed my approach a little bit and not doing as much QB +2. I kind of think, like I said, I really kind of think that QB with one. I think that QB with one is also doable. So if somebody, I don't think that's a bad thing, but I can't argue with the results. You cannot argue with the results. 4 wins in 10 weeks, 4 tournament takedowns in 10 weeks, coming for you. I'm going to start playing on Fanduel. That's really what I learned.
Couple NBA takedowns, NHL takedown.
I know. What system do you have for NHL? I don't even know what that could be.
I use my MLB.
Same?
Exact same as my MLB.
That's absolutely nuts. The MLB system is so simple and easy to run also. I love that. But like I said, this isn't discussed a lot in the DFS community, just coming up with systems and repeating them and back testing them. So we pulled up the curtain a little bit today to kind of go over stuff that you don't normally see people going, oh, there it is, 194. So FYI, I just ran it with QB +1, got 194 because the +2 but nonetheless, like I said, who cares? You won the tournament. What's the difference? Yeah. Plus, I had the benefit of hindsight here, and
I'll still be using 2.
Yeah, no, you do. That's right. Do not change what you're doing. I just wanted to beat it, but
well, it's funny. Last week I had like a lot of fields, and I'm looking at my my stacks and stuff, and I'm like, all my fields lineup has no receivers.
Why did they have Komet? Oh, what happened?
No, this is not this week. Last week, and because they had nobody over 5.
So what did it do? It just ignored it?
It just gave like naked fields lineups. Fields with nobody. I'm trying to figure out. I thought something was wrong with my settings or something. No. It finally dawned on me that there was no receivers over 5.
Yeah. Cole Kmet was probably under 5 too.
He was last week.
Yeah, so you got to be careful. That's another thing. If you are making these stacks, and you're removing players, and Scott, the way you're doing it, like taking a shortcut by using the fantasy points, the fantasy point range slider. If you're doing that, got to make sure that any stacks that you have, the actual players that might connect to that quarterback are available in it. So let's wrap it up there, man. Congrats again on having an incredible run this football season. I mean, it's got to feel really, really good. You're feeling great. Cleveland about to get Sean Watson back. That's going to make you happy.
Oh, yeah. Problem is they're going to be 3 and whatever by then.
Who cares?
They're going to get the break speed off them this week.
Yeah, whatever. At least you're finally going to see Deshaun Watson at the helm. I'd be excited as a Browns fan for that.
You can start practicing Wednesday.
Yeah, listen, you know how much Deshaun Watson exposure I have in Dynasty? I've been waiting for 2 years for this. I feel like it's my time to shine, but I don't even think it's going to be this year. It's too late. Those teams are dead. I'm going to have to wait till next year, but I don't mind. I got patience. All right, so system, guys, Scott is in our, like I said, Scott is in our Discord, giving out cores for NBA all the time, talking football, doing all this stuff. So you want to ask him a question, he's there. Try to do it in my channel rather than in the DMs. I don't love DMs. I like our discussions out in the open. So let's try to keep it out in the open. And congrats, man. I'm ready to put the system to work.
All right, let's see if you actually stick with it this week.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm gonna. That's it. No more tinkering. Maybe I'll just do. You know what? I'll just tinker away on DraftKings like I love to do. But FanDuel, I'm just gonna be like, screw it. It's FanDuel. I'm just throwing them in there. Just
throw them in there. Let it rip.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Going forward. That's it. I'm gonna take a couple of these down. If I don't, blaming you. And then we need to talk again for Thanksgiving because got to come up with a 3-game system that works.
Oh,
gonna do a little back testies. Yeah.
I don't even know where to start on that.
Put in the work. Got to put in the work. All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Right,
I'm going to wrap it up. Take care, everybody. We will see you next week on, we'll be back with the standard Millie Maker review. We'll look at the cash lines, all that good stuff. But I thought this was a fun change from what we're normally doing to kind of get a system, get a look in how real MME pros are doing it week in and week out. So really great stuff, Scott. I'll see everybody next time. Remember, like, subscribe, notification bell, all those good things, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.